Hey everyone, it's Bennett, your commissioner. Time for another weekly fantasy football recap. This one is for week 9 of the ForrestLand MishMash 2011 season. Really tough week personally for me and everyone else in Connecticut as we had a big storm that knocked out the power. I know Matt and Sarah were out of power from Saturday till Wednesday. I know I was out of power from Saturday till Friday. Not sure about Drew and his son, and Doreen either. But anyway, it was a brutal week. It was tough living like a vagabond all week, sleeping at home, hanging out at other people's houses, just sort of not being able to go home all day because it's dark and cold. It was pretty brutal, but luckily for me, got the electricity back just in time for the weekend, and there I was able to watch some football on Sunday. So let's get right to the recap here. The team of the week is the Slim Aussies, picking up a game on most of the rest of the Mish division. But before I talk about that, let's talk about the game of the week, which was a divisional matchup between the Virginia Vikings and third and Oolong. This one came down to the Monday night game. Art's team was down by 14 points with a field goal kicker in the game. And that's one of those you just never know. Sometimes a team gets all touchdowns and you're getting single extra points, and then sometimes they get, I think, 4 field goals and an extra point, something like that. So and especially I think the last one was in the last 6 minutes of the game. I actually fell asleep last night with the game on just because I was exhausted. But I did wake up this morning, check the score, and I did notice that the Vikings got a late field goal from Robbie Gould and tied the game 150 to 150. As far as starting and sitting, I guess you can make this a mistake. Third and long starting Darius Hayward Bay, who got 0 points, didn't have a catch over Jordy Nelson. Both have had about the same amount of catches throughout the season, but Jordy Nelson's got a lot more yards. So I would have picked Jordy Nelson, but that's easy for me to say. Also, Roy Helu, who had nothing the week before, did get 27 points, and can't really blame her for that. And then from one of those, can't win for losing things. Of course, Matt Moore on the bench gets 24 points, but no one would ever suggest that was a mistake to start Matt Schaub over Matt Moore. So, but did have some bench points. That always hurts when you have bench points and you either lose or, in this case, tie. So Virginia Vikings almost had a 4-game losing streak, but pulled it out in the end on Monday night. Let's see. No other really close games. The biggest statement of the week was, again, my team, the Slim Aussies. I think I had 3 low-scoring weeks in a row, so I was really pumped to get back in the point column, scoring the highest points in the league. I didn't listen to my own advice. The one mistake I made was having Ryan Matthews in the game, even though he was declared inactive. I just didn't check it last minute like I should have, and could have had Ben Tate in with 18 points instead of Ryan Matthews 0. But that being said, I still scored the most points in the league. Start of the week, definitely Carson Palmer and Julio Jones. Kevin Cobb's been disappointing, and he wasn't playing. So I could have gone with a safe pick of Colt McCoy, but I went on a wing and a prayer and got Carson Palmer in there, and he had an awesome day. And that could be a big pickup for me going through the rest of the season because, like I said, Kevin Kolb's been doing nothing, and Colt McCoy is pretty pedestrian. So if Carson Palmer is Carson Palmer the rest of the way, I'm going to be in pretty good shape with my quarterbacks. And then I also started Reggie Bush, who I just picked up last week because I had a lot of buys, and he had a good week, so I stuck with him. And then I just had a feeling Julio Jones would have a good week coming off the bye, and he had 36 points. So a couple of really good starts on my part. I'm pretty happy about that. And I defeat the Whalers 182-132. Other games of note in the Mish division, which is really competitive, the Chicago Travelers have now won 3 in a row, and to move to 4 and 5. They defeat the Cartel, the Catonsville Cartel. Still wondering why Temmie is starting Curtis Painter over Joe Flacco. I mean, Flacco hasn't been that good, but Curtis Painter's been abysmal. So I'm not sure why he's doing that, but did start Michael Bush over the injured Darren McFadden, and DeMarco Murray's been an excellent pickup for the Travelers. So they win 143-122. Michael Vick just didn't get it done, only had 9 points. And it always hurts when you have two running backs on the same team, and the one that you start, in this case, Noshawn Marino, got 2 points, and the one on your bench, Willis McGahee, gets 31. So the little bit of bad luck for the cartel there, but also sitting Tim Tebow. Tim, say what you will, he's gotten fantasy points like 3 weeks in a row, so not sure why Tim Tebow was on your bench, but that's the case. So the Travelers win 143-122. And let's see, another game of note is Ray Finkel, who's had a little bit up and down year, but has really scored a lot of points. Gets the second most point total of the week by defeating You Got Beat by a Girl, who's struggling a little bit. Only scored 108 points. Ray Finkel's looking pretty good with Breeze and Romo, had a lot of points. Got a lot of Jacksons, Steven Jackson, Deshaun Jackson. Brandon Marshall's finally starting to play. So the Kicking Academy's team's looking pretty solid now, and You Got Beat by a Girl. 0 points for Kevin Falk. Had Adrian Peterson, Matt Stafford, Percy Harvin, Jonathan Stewart all on bye. So a little bit of bye issue there for You Got Beat by a Girl, and she loses big, 171-108. And what else? I mentioned that. And then the only other game is the father and son game, the two last place divisions. Once again, Idaho Darth Taters score a respectable 127 points, but fall to the young Bucks there, 127-151. Not much to note in that game, so I'm just going to keep going. Okay, so that's it. Again, Slim Ozzy's win. So we can look at the standings, coupled with You Got Beat by a Girl, the Whalers, and the Cartel all losing. The Slim Aussies have a 2-game lead in the Mish division. And don't forget about the Travelers, who were, I think, 0-4 at one point. Now they're 4-5, and they're only 1 game back. The other 3 teams are right in the middle at 5-4. Ray Finkel's Kicking Academy's really starting to creep up. The Vikings, again, almost lost their 4th in a row. They do manage to get the tie, so they're 5-3-1. And Ray Finkel's Kicking Academy's 5-4. And Third and Long is 4-4-1. So they're hanging in there, but sort of middle of the pack in the MASH division. So that's it. Right at the 8-minute mark, so that's good. Again, big move for me, the Slim Aussies. I'm hoping my team keeps it up for the rest of the year. And good luck in Week 10, everyone. Hope all the Connecticut people get back to normal. And that's about it. See you next week.